Okay, a little video here for a fellow down, I'm sure now, Nova Scotia or New Brunswick, who's interested in this tractor. He wants to put a 350 Chevy conversion in it. See if I can get down and show those brake drums, how they're tight. And I'll make it a general sales video because I think I am going to part with this tractor. Because I have a TE20 Ferguson, a stalled project, and the roommate just bought that big Massey 165 back there. So a little scan around the tractor here as I'm gonna start it up from cold. If you look at this little black patch down in here on the crankcase, that's because when I buy these tractors, I always remove this crankcase and clean the sludge out. And I was in a hurry and I didn't have a gasket, and I left a little tiny leak there. So I just swabbed over top of it. Functional reform. This tractor is, it's not painted the proper colors. I just used whatever I had. When it came into my possession, it was one very sorry, tired looking, worn tractor. But again, quick walk around here. The rag on the brake arm is there. I lash a 12-volt battery here in the winter to boost anybody that might come along, just to have it handy. The tractor's on 6-volt. Oh, I was going to say, this bolt here just weeps a little wee bit. Did that when I got it, and I didn't want to open that up. A can of worms. It doesn't leak oil or radiator fluid into the oil, and vice versa. So once in a while you got to give that a little clean up, or it'll foul the exterior of the plug. 16-inch or 15, I can never remember these things on the front, whatever it is. Important thing with these tractors, you want a tight rear end. You don't want this business moving around, which I think is in great part why this fellow in the east wants it. So we'll turn the fuel on, cold start, and while it warms up, I'll just show you a couple of other things that might be interested. Yes, I turned that fuel on. Yes, I put a secondary fuel tap on it because the aftermarket ones for the glass sediment bowl, I think that shows a shot of it. I won't bother looking. They never really work properly. So if my battery's charged up, this should start with no fuss or production. Yeah, there we go. Always hold your clutch in when you're starting these. It removes the load from the starter onto the main shaft of the tranny. And I have my TPO in operation at the moment. So I would sell the tractor with or without this snow blade attached. And I think it should be self-evident. My contraption here to carry the wood isn't affixed to the plow. I just use it like a big wheelbarrow. I just back into it, pick up my contraption, and away I go. Now, with this blade super close and tight like this, it really works well in the snow. Not only do I not have 3 or 4 feet of blade sticking out in the back, making it bigger, it's so close to the pivot points on the lift system, it just works really well. Quick demo on that. Up comes that plow. You hear a little bit of knocking in that. It's under load. That really shouldn't be that knocking. And then it stops. That really shouldn't be there. Somebody probably bent the, I'll call it the connecting rod arm to the slave pump way back when. I think you can hear it there. Just a little knock, knock, knock. That shouldn't be there, but it's not a big issue. And the rest of the tractor speaks for itself. Oh, oil. pressure. So, I'll step back a bit while that warms up, just so we're not listening to it. Oh, hi, Kyra. Just filming a tractor vid. Give me a half sec. Lost on my train of thought. What was my point? What was my point? Well, I don't know. Oh, yes. Condition of the motor. I think I ran this tractor for 2 years, and the other motor was worn right out because nobody had ever cleaned the crankcase. It was running on the sludge, and it just wore itself right out. When I changed this motor from another tractor whose rear end's a disaster, I took that crankcase off and cleaned it, and I could see inside the motor the condition that this is in. It could use a rebuild. I mean, the cylinders are a bit glazed. The crank shaft end play pretty well at book tolerance. But the mains and the top end are within specification. And, well, I'm not field plowing wide open with it. I started it there at about half throttle. And you can see maybe some faint markings there. When I operate it, I just operate it up around there. I don't need any more power. And then my oil pressure is fluctuating all over the place. I keep telling my roommate when he's got a couple pints in him and wants to play with it, don't run it across a 10-acre parking lot here at idle in 4th gear. You do that, you can actually just hear the main crankshaft using up its end play. So why do it? This thing will run for years the way it is. Front kingpin, if that's what you want to call it, center mount on the axle's been redone. I put a new clutch bearing in, and everything else is fine. So I really should ask $2,500 for this without the blade. But the bottom line is I've had it for 5 years, and I did plow and disc a garden with it here, about a couple of acres, a couple of years back, and it's been serving me to plow snow in the winter, and then is my contraption wheelbarrow in the summer. So to the fellow down east, and I'm sorry I forget your name, we've only talked by email and I didn't look you up before I started this video. I think that shows everything that you would be interested in. Again, I think a couple of little shortcomings there and everything else. So that's it. Anybody who's interested in this tractor, what is my phone number? I got a new phone. Oh, I don't know. Do the email thing.